Donald Trump is in a free fall in Texas, and as he is crashing out right now, he's bringing the whole MAGA gang down with him. The MAGA Trump brand is utterly tainted in Texas. Let's zoom in on his polling data as he crashes before the midterms. Donald Trump's approval right now in Texas, according to the latest Economist poll, net negative 20. The latest Quinnipiac poll, which CNN recently did a story on, net negative 9. I'll get to that in a moment. When you zoom in on some of these congressional races where Greg Abbott and Donald Trump tried to gerrymander the hell out of Texas to rig the midterms, you've got Democrats leading there. It looks like what Trump and Abbott may have done is a dummy mander, or just the people of Texas are absolutely furious as Trump and Abbott have screwed over the people of Texas, ripped away their health care, and want to put data centers in everyone's backyard. That's a big Trump and Abbott initiative. Data centers everywhere in Texas for their right-wing oligarch friends and to destroy the lives of people in Texas. It ain't enough just to rip away their health care and to destroy their lives and make things less affordable. Let's also add data centers everywhere to make things even worse. I mean, zoom in right here on Texas 15. You have Bobby Polito right here leading Monica de la Cruz 51% to 45%. And at this time, this was a Trump plus 15 district. And again, we're seeing Democrats overperform these polls by 10 to 15 points in these special elections. And that bodes very well. And this could be a massive disaster for Republicans there in Texas. Last week, I reported on the Fox poll, which has James Tallarico leading the corrupt and despicable, vile creature. Ken Paxton. Tallarico leads 51% to 48%. You zoom in on that governor's race, and you have Greg Abbott only leading by 1 to Gina Hinojosa. And Gina Hinojosa is doing a great campaign. She was recently on the MeidasTouch network on Jack Cucciarella's On Sunday show. How incredible was that? Let me just share with you what Greg Abbott's message has been. He wants data centers everywhere, data centers in your backyard. He wants you to literally live in the basement of a data center. Okay, I'm excited, but like right next to your house is what he wants. And I'm sure if he could force you to live under a data center, that he would be very happy about that. Here's what this despicable Governor Abbott has to say. Let's play it.
Let's make one thing clear. Data centers are moving to Texas in droves because Greg Abbott has invited them in with the most generous tax giveaways for data centers in the entire country. They are being built on your dime. Don't believe me?
Texas will be the centerpiece for AI data centers for Google in the entire world.
He is only backtracking now because I have been touring this state since last year with the message that when I am governor, we will hold down our utility costs by making industry, and yes, including the data centers owned by the richest people in the world, pay for themselves. Greg Abbott has zero credibility here. Nobody believes that the arsonist is about to put out the fire.
Let's talk about that CNN poll that I just shared with you. We can take a look at the Quinnipiac poll and others. And CNN is even saying, based on all the polling data, Tallarico is taking a pretty big lead here. And I want to show you in a moment what Republicans are saying in Texas. Republicans are saying, we ain't voting Paxton. First off, he's not even trying to campaign for our vote, and he's a criminal, and he's a crook, and he's despicable, and he cheats in everything, and he's just a horrible MAGA bootlicker. And you'll see these Republican women who are featured here are like, we're going with Tallarico. First, let me show you the CNN poll. Let's play it.
The polling is different. The polling is different. This is the best looking polling for Democrats in the Senate race since really the 20th century. You're going to have to go back probably to the late 80s, the last time they won a Senate race out there, when it was Lloyd Bentsen winning in 1988, because just take a look here. This polling looks so much different than it did 8 years ago. You take a look here, James Tallarico, the latest poll against Ken Paxton. He's actually up by 3 points. Look at where the race was between Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz at this point in the 2018 cycle. Ted Cruz was ahead by 6. This is very different. The Democrat here is doing 9 points better. And what is supercharging that? Look at this. Independents moved from tie to plus 39 points for James Tallarico. Independents, the name of the game, shifting significantly to the left camp and supercharging James Tallarico It could be real. Every single time I look at the polling, I'm going, this can't be right. This could be very, very real. Democrats have a real shot in Texas.
So 26 different than 2018. Ted Cruz, again, who won, but it was very, very close.
Less than 3 points.
How is Ted Cruz different than Paxton?
How is Ted Cruz different than Ken Paxton? Simply put, Ted Cruz is popular. Ken Paxton is not popular at all. That is, I think, one of the biggest differences in this race. Take a look here. The GOP nominee's net favorability. In July of 2018, Ted Cruz was 8 points above Water. His favorable was 8 points above his unfavorable rating. Look at this side of the screen. Very different indeed. Ken Paxton, 6 points underwater with, get this, among independents, 47 points underwater. No wonder that you're seeing major issues for Ken Paxton in this race so far.
How's the president doing in Texas?
Well, here's the other thing that's going on. How's the president doing in Texas? The president is supercharging Democratic possibilities across red states. Remember, Donald Trump won Texas by double digits, but now he's 9 points underwater. He was slightly underwater back in 2018, but he's much further underwater right now in the great state of Texas.
So Texas, if it were to flip, would be fairly key for the math for Democrats to take back the Senate. What are the prediction markets saying right now about those changes?
You know, all of a sudden you put Texas in play. You put places like Iowa, Ohio in play. You know, you're talking about Alaska being potentially in play. Look at this chance to win the Senate. Now it's basically an even race. Republicans were 3-2 favorites a month ago. Look at where we are right now. Now Republicans' chances have fallen significantly, just a 53% chance to hold on to the United States Senate. Democrats have a real shot indeed.
It's going to be a pretty tense few months here.
I think we'll hold on together. Hold on tight, folks.
Harriet, thank you very much. We have a lot of news this morning.
Now let me show you what this group of Republican women are saying. You've been Republicans for most of your voting lives. Who's voting for Tallarico? All of the Republican ladies, the Republican moms in this room raise his hand. They go, I like him. He's a middle school teacher in public school and he's fighting for people. You know, they don't like no one. Oh, he's a Tallarico. He's 6 genders. He's a sicko. No, he's not. He's a very normal, down to earth person. You want to know who's a real sicko? I'll tell you who's a real sicko. Ken Paxton, who cheats his friends, whose wife divorced him on biblical grounds because he's a disgusting, vile thing. Here, play this clip of these Republican moms. Let's play it.
And you are all 3 women who have been Republicans for most of your voting lives. Who's voting for James Tallarico?
Also gave him my money.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he was a middle school teacher in public school in Texas, and they started cutting all his funding. And he said, well, if I can't change my school, then I'm going to need to change my state. And that's so becoming of a leader. I want a middle school teacher who's like, hey, this is broken. Somebody needs to fix it. Why not me? And I never send money to state people, but this year I did. I'm like, not only am I going to vote for you, I'm going to give you some money.
I think Republicans are having a lot of moments like that where we're saying, this is not what I signed up for. Like, give me somebody who's not extremist. I don't care what party they are. I'm going to vote for whoever is the most common sense and who I think would be the most likely to protect my kids.
You're never going to vote for a candidate that thinks exactly like you unless you run. You need to get on the bus that's driving closest to where you want to end up. Tallarico, I find him to be pretty moderate. And I think that is telling of what's happening in the state of Texas. The Republicans should be worried.
Even state regime media Fox is saying, here's what's going on with Texas voters. Let's play this clip.
I'm not sure if those positions are going to be what does it for Ken Paxton. At the end of the day, what's happening in Texas is voters feel neglected. Remember, ever since the Uvalde shooting, voters there feel like the folks in Austin and the folks in Washington have neglected their needs. Tallarico is speaking to that in a real way, and that's the least common denominator here. Ken Paxton's talking about something else, and Tallarico's talking about what's happening in kitchen tables, and that's why I think you're seeing our polling showing him up in this race.
Gina Hinosa zoomed in and did this feature on Tom and Cheryl, whose lives were upended by Greg Abbott wanting data centers everywhere. Play this clip.
We appreciate you.
I appreciate
God bless you.
I do.
Every day I pray to God that there's hope. I pray to God that there is some ray of sunshine and that I see hope. And with you, I see hope. I truly mean it. I truly mean it. I honest God, we've lived without hope for 3 years. And here you are.
Let's make hope. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely.
Right? Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. You're going to win this thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're going to make it happen.
And one of the things that Abbott is pushing in Texas, Project Matador, which will be the largest data center in the world, 5 square miles. I'll share this with you, right? I mean, I wasn't, being sarcastic when I said Abbott wants data centers everywhere and he wants Texas to be one gigantic data center. You remember the movie The Matrix where they all lived in their pods? Yeah, Abbott just wants like a data center and like everybody like living in their pods in data center. Again, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but basically that's the dystopian. Like if Trump told him to do it, Abbott would be like, yeah, that's what I want. People in data center pods. That's where people should, but then he would make it even that unaffordable. And so you'd have to live, I don't know where I'm going with this here, play this clip.
We're about to go on a walk of what is the largest data center, going to be the largest data center in the world, right outside of Amarillo, Texas. Walk with me. So I have heard that there are actually like TV ads about this site. Like, what's the message that is being told in these TV ads?
So we're going to be like the hub of artificial intelligence. This is where everyone's looking to for the creation of all the great new future technologies, and we're so lucky to be the center of that.
And do you feel lucky?
Not at all. I don't feel lucky at all.
Tell me why.
This does not feel like anything that anyone's asked for. This is going to be a major burden on our water supply. This is, I don't want to live next to a nuclear facility.
Okay, and then you have like Trump and MAGA pushing out former New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and he's been traveling the country, Wisconsin. I think he's going to be in Texas soon, pushing data centers. I guess he'll be in Texas soon from what I'm hearing. But this is what Eric Adams happened when he was just in Wisconsin en route on his trip. But watch what's going to happen when he goes to Texas as well. Here, play this clip.
Like it or not, if we like it or not, folks, data centers are going to be here.
No.
Data centers are going to be in our country. Data centers will be in our country.
Not in Rapids. Put it in your backyard.
What we must determine is what's the...
I also note that there are lots of people who are making Lego videos of me and my analysis of Trump collapsing in Texas and Tallarico pulling ahead of Paxton. This is literally someone making a Lego video of me that's gone super viral on TikTok. And it's my video it's my analysis as a Lego video, which is interesting. Here, play this clip.
Donald Trump just got blindsided in the heart of Texas. Red Democratic candidate James Tallarico opening up a LA on the hand-picked MAGA stools, the corrupt Ken Paxton. Fox poll has him up 3. State regime media facts.
I'll show you another portion of it. Let's play this clip.
Yeah, Donald Trump just got blindsided in the heart of Texas. Red Democratic candidate James Tallarico opening up a leg on the hand-picked MAGA stooge, the corrupt Ken Paxton. Fox poll has him up 3. State regime media facting. Trump collapses in Texas. The attack backfire. Tallarico leaves Paxton 51-48. Trump collapses in Texas.
And I just saw James Tallarico on MS Now the other night. Let me just share with you what he had to say. Powerful stuff right here. Let's play it.
I mean, I think the only thing worse than Ken Paxton's personal cheating is his public cheating. I mean, yes, he's betrayed the people closest to him. You mentioned this being the anniversary of his famous mugshot. And that was because he was indicted for securities fraud, for investment fraud. And what's fascinating about that story, I'm not a lawyer, but when you read about what happened, he was scamming his own friends. He convinced his own friends to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into a tech company. And then he didn't tell them that he was getting a commission off those investments. And so I've said on the campaign trail, if Ken Paxton is willing to scam his own friends for a quick buck, what makes you think he's not going to scam you in the United States Senate? And the last thing I'll say is, I served with Ken Paxton's wife. She's a state senator in Texas. Senator Angela Paxton. And I have great respect for the senator. We don't agree on every issue, but I respect her public service. And the last thing I want to do is kind of bring up all this personal stuff when there's so much public stuff to really prosecute the case on. And so I'm just going to stick to Ken Paxton's public record because there's plenty of material there to run a campaign and make the choice in this election clear for the people of Texas.
And then we had Gina Hinoso went on the Sunday Show with Jack Cucciarella. And let me show you what went down there. Here, play this clip. She's a great candidate, huh? Let's play this clip right here.
What I wish press would cover and what I wish people understood is that it's all about corruption.
Mm-mm.
We, in Texas, at least it is, we are paying into a system that is working against us. The legislation that I see that gets passed in the Texas House, the only legislation we get to vote on that comes before us is pushed by moneyed interests. That is corrupt, right? And so it is the reason why people are turned off about government. It's the reason why people are turned off by capitalism, because they're experiencing this crony capitalism that we have in this country now. And in Texas, in a big way, Texas has become a pay-to-play state. And as a result, we have skyrocketing taxes, property taxes, but we have over 150 whole school districts operating at 4 days a week because they can't afford to operate at 5 days a week. Whole school districts. We have over 150 schools shutting down. We have the most uninsured in Texas, the most uninsured children in Texas. We have the most people being disconnected from their electricity because they can't afford to pay their bills. I mean, this list goes on and on. That is Greg Abbott's record. That's why the polling shows people want change. They know Greg Abbott. They know he's been there 12 years and they will not elect him to another 4. And that's the opportunity that we have in this election. So I'm running on saving the American dream, bringing back the American dream by saving Texas schools and putting money in your pocket. And that's it. That is the plan. It is short. It is simple because the plan should be as plain as the promise. And it's resonating.
Now we're learning that Elon Musk, as part of the $100 to $300 million he wants to spend in the midterms, because he knows that this could be a disaster and accountability for him personally, and that accountability can finally be coming. He's going to be spending a lot of money apparently in Texas, hundreds of millions of dollars from Musk pouring in to try to screw over the people in Texas. And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention this right here. Army Private Isabella Gonzalez of Carlton, a daughter of Texas who served with courage and honor. She's one of our service members who were killed in the catastrophic and unlawful war in Iran. As Gina Hinosa says, we hold her family in our prayers and will never forget her sacrifice. 19-year-old Private Isabella Gonzalez of Texas, service member who was killed in action in Trump's catastrophic war. There you have it, everybody. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. We appreciate you so much for watching.
Breaking news right now. My brothers and I wrote a book. It's called WTF America. And well, doesn't that just say it all? It comes out officially this October, but you can pre-order your copy today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description below.